So right now, actually, you got familiar with different roles in BIM project. You might have heard that BIM manager is the most important role in all of the system. So in this part, we want to understand that why BIM manager is the most important role in our work. So in each project, we have a lot of softwares, teams, files, data. So if there is not a person to manage these things really correctly, the project will be out of control really easily. So BIM manager is exactly the person like conductor that he or she might not play the instrument, but it will cause that everybody will be matched with other people. So BIM manager is not just looking for 3D models. So the main duty is to managing all the information in all the life of the project, from designing, construction, handover, and maintenance. So that is a person who decides that what kind of data must be produced or prepared, and then when they must be updated, and who should have access to these files, and how these cases are going to be shared among teams. So in fact, if the modelers will be actually creators of the models, BIM manager is exactly the strategic designer of that. So right now, let me give you an example in here that you can understand it better. Let's assume that the project of the hospital is getting done. So the modelers are modeling their models. I mean, the structural team, for example, architectural team and mechanical team. Coordinator will check all of the models, that there are no clashes through the models. Then these models are going to be actually delivered to consultants, contractors, and actually clients or employers. So who will decide about the formats of the files? Or, for example, LOD. So, or for example, financial matters or technical matters when they must be updated. So this is the time that BIM manager must work. So it will get sure that everything will be based on the standard of the project, like 19 ISO 19650, that the data will be exactly okay. So, but the importance of that is not just about the technical thing, but about the, for example, the strategic and technical thing. Both are really important. BIM manager is the person who will connect the technology team and, for example, the goals of the client. For example, the client wants that the project will be exactly okay about the time and also about the finance. So BIM manager, by designing a really nice plan, will cause that each member of the team will know their duties and they know when they have to do their works. So another point that will cause that the role of the manager is really important is actually communication with the client. So they must actually translate the language of the technical teams, like a management language that a clients actually can understand what kind of decisions they must make for the project. For example, by actually proper analyzing for the BIM, we can, for example, predict that when the project is going to be finished, or for example, changing of the project, for example, what kind of usages, or for example, damages it can have for the project. BIM manager is a person who, for example, will advances that from the software model phase to the organizational level. So let me ask you a question. Which team is better? A team who has the better, for example, manager, or just a team that has just modelers? For sure, the first one, because without managing, the modelers could be actually misled. So if we want to say that in summary, BIM manager, heart of the project, a person who gathers the information to match all of the teams with each other. It will just regard all the standards, and it will get sure that the final actually result is exactly what the client expects. If you want to just consider BIM as a kind of smart system, BIM manager is brain of that system.